Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the NBA Coverage. Today's podcast is brought to you by Final Form Subs. Right here, we got the joint supports. As you guys can see, I'm running a little low. I'm actually going to order some today when we get off of the pod. Order some more. And just as an update for you guys, we've actually updated our shipping. We had some shipping issues where it was taking like 2 weeks for things to come in. But now, for the most part, shipping is anywhere from 5 to 8 days. Considering there's no hiccups, which we're not getting much hiccups anymore. So shipping's a lot faster. Standard rate shipping in terms of price, and it's going to be anywhere from 5 to 8 days. Generally on that 5 to 6 day kind of towards that. There you go. Yeah, Calvin's taking his. So we got the calm down. We got the shipping updated, and guys, we got all kinds of things. We got creatine, pre-workout. We got collagen for those of y'all that want to keep your skin clear and keep your skin tight and hydrated. Go to finalformsubs.com. That's finalformsubs, SUPPS.com. Use promo code CoachStrib, all caps, no space. Don't forget to use that promo code to get 10% off your entire order. All right. And, guys, the NBA podcast on Ivy Talks Podcast Network. Wherever you're listening or watching this, just go ahead to subscribe so you guys don't miss out any cool stuff. So, episode 14, we are out here, we're in here, we're in the groove. This is after the NBA All-Star break. We're back into the things, back into the swing of things in the NBA. So those of y'all that are new, we're going to go over the standings for the East and the West, and then we'll go over some leaders in terms of like points, statistical leaders for the NBA, and then Calvin's going to kick us off with some news and highlights for the NBA. All right, now, those of y'all that tune in weekly, like you've kind of noticed from week in, week out, it's kind of very the same. Not too much is moving around. It's been fairly consistent. Now that it's after the All-Star break, that's usually about the halfway point in the NBA and the season. Now is when we're going to start seeing things move, because teams that are in that 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 are going to try to fight to get out of the play-in, and teams that are right at 11 and 12 are trying to fight to get in the play-in to make it to potentially get that 7th and 8th spot. So it's going to get real juicy, literally from 7, 8, 9, 10, and depending how close they are, 11, 12, potentially 13. Basically the bottom half, it's going to get real dicey for guys trying to fight get into that play-in window. All right, so let's go over the standings. So Eastern Conference. Eastern is pretty much more or less the same. The Boston Celtics are still sitting at first, and they're continuing to gain ground or separation between the number 2 team. So number 2 team is still the Cleveland Cavaliers, but now Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 7.5 games behind Celtics. So it's looking like the Celtics are going to pretty much solidify themselves at that number 1 spot. Now, that's not to say things can happen. There's still 40-ish games left to be played. So things could happen. Celtics could go on a 10-game, 15-game losing streak. The Bucks and the Cavs could go on this crazy win streak. It is possible, but as of right now, Celtics are really separating themselves at the number 1 spot. Cleveland Cavaliers are at 7.5 games behind. Milwaukee Bucks are 8.5 games behind the first spot, or a game and a half behind Cleveland. Then we have the Knicks sitting strong at 4, which is very interesting because of Julius Randle being out. They're still playing well without their best player. 76ers are sitting at 5, Pacers at 6, Miami at 7, Magic at 8, Bulls at 9, Hawks at 10. Then you have the Brooklyn Nets at 11, Raptors at 12, Hornets at 13, Wizards at 14, and Detroit Pistons at 15. Now in the West, it's still a tight race, all right? So now, as of right now, the West, the Timberwolves and OKC are tied for first. The Clippers and the Nuggets, they're semi-tied for second. So Clippers are technically in front of the Nuggets because the Clippers have one less loss, and the Nuggets have one less loss than Nuggets. So the Nuggets are sitting at 4, but the Clippers and the Nuggets are both a game and a half behind the Timberwolves. So they're both a game and a half behind, but because of number of games played, it's a little offset. So the Clippers are sitting at 3, at just a game and a half behind. Denver at 4, game and a half behind. Now, between the 5th spot, the Pelicans, who have moved up to the 5th spot, Dallas has dropped down. Pelicans were sitting at 6. They are 5.5 games behind. So there's a 4-game difference between the Denver Nuggets and the Pelicans. Between the 4th spot and the 5th spot, there's a 4-game difference. So there's starting to be some separation between the top 4. So that top 4 is going to be a dogfight here in the last half of the season. Then we have Mavs at 6, Kings at 7, Suns at 8, Lakers at 9, Warriors at 10. Then we have Jazz at 11, Rockets at 12, Grizzlies at 13, Portland Trailblazers at 14, Spurs at 15. Go over some the leaders real quick. So points per game, Luka Doncic is leading the way with 34.3. Rebounds is Sabonis at 13.2. Assists, Tyrese Halliburton 11.7. And then steals per game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 2.1. And blocks per game, Victor Wembanyama at 3.2 blocks per game. And now I'm going to pass it off to Calvin to start us off with NBA news and highlights.
Cool. So, yeah, and during the talking and everything, I got 2 questions, but I'm going to save those to the end and everything like that because I want to get your perspective and some insight from you. Big news, man. I think, I don't know, it was kind of funny that you didn't hear about this, but Steve Kerr signed a contract extension. Let me see what it was. I think it was 2 years that he signed it for and everything like that. But, yeah, that's the biggest. Yeah, 2 years, $35 million and everything. So he's going to be with them for the next 2 years and everything. So it'll be interesting to see what is going to transpire with that and everything with not the typical season that they're having this year so far. So seeing trade moves and everything like that. I know you talked about the Nets head coach getting fired and everything. What do you think about that, to be honest?
So, note-wise, what I had, I don't want to say it's surprising because the Nets were they're bottom of their conference. And so also for some notes I had, they were 21-33. They're 11th in the East. And when they showed their rankings in terms of like offense, defense, they're pretty much bottom 25, 28 in just about every team's category. So I'm not surprised. I do feel a type of way. I mean, I get it because it's a business, but I do feel a type of way when you fire a head coach mid-season. I don't.
If you know you're that down bad in the standings, you might as well just let him finish the job and then let him go at the end of the season. That's my thing. Is like because to be honest, they're not. I don't think they. Hold on. Yeah, they're 11th right now. There's no way they can get in the play. I mean, they can get in the play-in, but it's gonna take some work to be honest. But
yeah, exactly. And then that's also the other point. Okay, they're at 11th. Let them finish out. See if you can get in the play-in. You know, see if you can, especially second half of the season. We know how second half of the season always goes. Really, the NBA doesn't get interesting till the second half of the season because that's when teams got to buckle down. And if they're 2 games behind the play-in, they gotta keep it up. And if you're 2 games above, the next person's trying to get you out. You gotta continue to win. You know what I'm saying? So I've never been a fan of firing a coach in the middle of the season like that. Like you said, let them finish it out. Who knows? You know, they might have made it to the play-in and then made a run, or at least made it to the play. We don't know. But again, I'm not surprised because the Nets, ever since obviously the big three, the Nets broke up between KD, Kyrie, and Harden or Ben Simmons, however you want to sauce it up. Ever since that, they've been kind of looking for. I feel like they've been trying to find their identity as a team, because Steve Nash gone. Now you got I want to get his name. I have his name down. I don't know how you say. Is it Jacque Vaughn?
Something like that, I guess.
Yeah, it's Jacque. I would assume Jacque Vaughn. But it seems like ever since Steve Nash, which is again, Steve Nash was just recently the coach, but I don't know. I feel like they're having an identity crisis. I feel like they're looking for a coach that can create some type of Nets culture, whatever that looks like. But like the Heat, like Spoelstra, the way he did at Miami, everybody knows Miami has a culture. Like not everybody can play for Miami. Miami is a team that's got this strict discipline. There's a Miami culture. Like, I feel like organizations are looking for a coach that can create that. So, yeah.
feel like it's gonna take some time though too. You just can't put nobody in there and then expect them to, do what you needed to do and everything. It's gonna take especially with that team and everything. I mean, they don't really have like a go-to. I mean, you can say Mikal Bridges, but like, is that really your go-to person right now, or do you need to bring somebody in to kind of help him out?
Right. And they're
So,
young. They're
yeah,
also, yeah. So there's going to take some developmental time too.
definitely. But man, I want to get into this NBA draft real quick from some projections that they have so far. And some of these people, have you been paying attention a little bit to like college basketball or anything like that?
I actually have. I've been watching like random games, but I've actually been pretty in tune with the SEC. Specifically just because I'm a SEC guy till I die in any sport. In SEC basketball, it's stepping up. It's for sure stepping up. But yeah, I've been watching a lot more college basketball.
Dude, the thing that's getting me right now is that when I start naming these people off, you're going to see there's not a lot of people. There is a good amount. It's kind of like 50-50 right now. There's some people in college, some people in that like, I don't know,
Semi-pro level.
semi-pro G League, whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah,
everything like that,
yeah,
man. So, this first guy, he's actually pretty solid. Pistons, golly, I can't believe the Pistons got the first pick and everything. The trash ass record.
yeah.
But they got this one dude, Andre Sarr, that they're scouting right now. He's from France. Dude, he's pretty good. He's 18 years old, 7 foot, can play the 4 or 5 spot. Then they got Nikolai Topic, and he's from Serbia. He's a point guard, 6'6" point guard, 18 years old. They getting these
Dang.
guys, they getting these guys really, really young, like right when they turn 18, it almost seems like.
Right.
Then and that was for the Washington Wizards. The Spurs, shout out San Antonio Finest. They got Zachary Richarder. He's a France guy too. He's power forward, small forward, 6'8", 18 years old again. Um, Mateus Buzelis, he's from Team Ignite. That's like the G League team. And then he's a 6'8" small forward shooting guard, which he's pretty solid too. He actually played in the Rising Stars Challenge and everything. I don't know if you saw that and everything. But then we got the Portland Trailblazers, Ron Harland. He's from G League. Another 18-year-old dude, 6'6", seems like a combo wing. Toronto Raptors got Cody Williams. Colorado, funny fact, that's the first person from college that they're looking at the 6th spot. So I don't know if they're
Dang.
looking into like the G League and overseas and everything a little bit more instead of college and everything, which says a lot to me. But he's from Colorado, 6'8", swing man. Then you got Rob Dillingham going to Memphis, which is probably one of my favorite picks and probably one of my favorite guards at Kentucky right now. 6'3", really just crafty as hell, man. He reminds me of Shea SGA, just how he moves and just creativity. Then the Rockets got Reese Shepherd, another dude from Kentucky, shooting guard, just has a huge clip on him right now. We got ninth Atlanta Hawks, Kyle Flipowski or wherever you say it. Big man from Duke, 7-footer. I think this is his third year right now. And then we got the Oklahoma City Thunder with Devin Carter, who's at Providence, which I haven't heard too much about him, to be honest. So, like I said, all this stuff is going to change as the season gets better for college basketball. Conference plays going right now. So we'll see people move up and move out and everything, see some
Right.
new and all that. So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. Second thing I want to hit on, two things actually. I was on Instagram and I heard this, and it was a take from a guy. He was like, "What do you think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to do?" He's like, "Can you see them getting bounced in the first round or going to the NBA Finals?" And he said, "The NBA Finals." He said, "That's hard just because of how the West is and they're playing so good right now." And he was like, "I can also see them getting bounced out just because they're a good team and everything, but he doesn't know how." Because obviously you get to the playoffs, that's a whole different season, like whole different new dynamic and everything. You got people seeing defenses that they haven't seen before during the regular season. So, what do you think? I don't think that I don't think that they'll get to the finals, but I don't see them getting bounced the first round. And if that does happen, that's going to be a huge letdown, especially with them being so good this season. and having all the success that they've had.
Now, under normal circumstances, I would say that I don't think they get bounced out the first round. But because of the play-in, wait, what just happened? Okay. Dang. Anyway, just as an update, because my standings just updated because um anyway, standings is updated. Clipper or OKC's a half game behind Timberwolves. So Timberwolves, they're not tied no more. Anyway, for me, under normal circumstances, I would say, yeah, I don't think they get bounced at the first round. But because of the play-in tournament, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Let me paint a picture. Let me paint the picture for you.
I'm gonna throw something else at you after you get done saying this too.
Okay.
So because it's both dealing with the West and everything. I just want to see how you kind of respond to it.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Right now, you have Suns at 8, Lakers at 9, Warriors at 10. The Kings are at 7. So that means for the play-in, it's between those 4 teams to get the 2 spots. But out of those 4, the only team I think Timberwolves could handle in a 7-game series fairly well is the Kings. But if the Timberwolves have to play the Suns, but with Booker, Beal, Nurkic, KD, the Lakers, LeBron, AD, Rushard Mora, AR-15, D'Lo, and if they have to play the Warriors with how Steph Curry has been playing recently, now with the Warriors, the Warriors, and again, the Warriors are struggling, but like you said, playoffs is a different beast. And the Warriors, I think, would be a better matchup for the Timberwolves because of the twin towers they have with Gobert and Cat. So that matchup might not be bad, but I think Suns and Lakers are a terrible matchup for the Timberwolves in a 7-game series. So if certain things I can see both. Well, I can see them. I don't know if I see them making it to the finals because they're so young. That's usually a problem. They're so young. I can see them getting bounced if they got to play a Suns, if they got to play a Lakers. I mean, hell, even the Kings might be a better matchup. And the Warriors, you don't know with the Warriors. I feel like they're so inconsistent right now. They could get it, they could not, because Steph is the only one playing very consistent. But I think for them, realistically, second round, I think their ceiling, to me, in my personal opinion, their ceiling is I think they can make it to the conference finals. I don't think they'd win it.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, I can see them making out the first and again taking out in the second. I can see that. Because like you said, we don't know. This isn't like a team we've seen in the playoffs. It's not like a Warriors team or a Miami or we've seen Miami get in through the play-in, make it all the way to the finals. We've seen Miami come in middle of the pack, make it all the way to the finals. So we know come playoffs, we know Miami is a team you can't bet against, regardless of where they are. As long as they make it into the playoffs, you got to keep your eye on them. They're a dark horse team every time. Same with the Warriors. That one year they won, they were like the 6th seed, and they ended up winning. So we've seen these teams. With the Timberwolves, they're so young, we don't know. But, yeah.
And this goes into my next one. I'm a really big fan. I'm a fan of Draymond's podcast. I'm not a fan of Draymond the player. Let me get that straight and everything. Okay. He says some good stuff on there. But this one, I just don't know. He was on his podcast and he was saying, yeah, definitely the Warriors are a title. Yeah, we're definitely a title contending team. And I was like, I don't know if he's saying that just because he's on the team and he knows what they're up against right now. So he's just trying to clear the air and everything. But I'm like, homie, right now, y'all not like the way y'all are positioned right now and what's going on, you only have Steph really doing majority of the work and everything. I'm like, I don't think y'all are a top contending team. And plus, y'all in the play-in tournament right now. So how are you going to be a top contending team when you guys are fighting to even get into the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Unless you're going on a 20-game winning streak and everything.
Right.
But I was like, I feel like that's a stretch. I feel like there's a stretch and that's a reach too as well, because you're fighting to get into it right now. You're not already secure right now to get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what he means, because I agree. If you're talking about they're not a a contender. A contender is a team that you look at and you're like, they are playing on the level consistently to they're like top four odds of making it, right? A contender is like the Celtics, or a contender is like I don't want to say just because they're number one, but like the Celtics are a contender. They've been there before. We know it, the playoffs, they've made it to the finals before, they've made it to conference finals. I think what he meant is that he thinks as long as they make the play-in, they have a chance to make it to the finals. I think that's what he means by that. At least that's what I think he means, because I agree with you. They're not a contending team. A contending team is like the OKC, right? Like, or Denver. Denver's a contending team. They're top four. They won it. That was last year, right? They won it last year. It's pretty much the same team. You got the Joker's on there. They're playing phenomenal. Clippers are a contending team. They're playing absolute good team basketball. And like, you can't be ranked 10th and be a contending team. Now, I think what he's saying is he believes that they have a chance to win the NBA Finals, which they do. As long as Steph Curry is on your team, and they've been, they've won not being a top seeded team, but I think he's saying they have a chance to win because he knows they're going to, once playoffs come, they're going to, make moves. That I do agree. They do have, everybody that makes playoffs has a chance. And obviously, you have Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters of all time, et cetera, et cetera. So at least I think that's where he's coming from. If he means like a true, like, contending team, no.
No.
Their odds are probably like minus 10,000 or something like that. Like, their odds are probably terrible, or plus 10,000.
Yeah, I just when I was, and that's the thing too. When I saw it, I was just like, okay, like, don't let me jump to conclusions and let me just bash him. But I'm like, bro, like, you guys aren't positioned that good right now to really say that. But I mean, you never know as the season goes on. So
yeah, their odds are plus 3,500.
Damn.
They're right behind Miami. They're tied with Miami, and then Cavs are plus 3,000. Lakers are plus 28. The number one is Celtics at 260, and Nuggets and Clippers are tied at 475 in odds to win.
Damn.
I wouldn't mind, man. I actually wouldn't mind Clippers winning it all this year.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't. I think, and the thing about it, I think that would kind of start like ruffle some feathers, be like, oh, the Clippers won this year, where the Lakers at? You know what I'm saying? Because they share, don't they share arena still?
I think right now they do, but they won't be soon.
But I mean, man, I feel like if that happens, that's going to start a lot of debates and everything, just saying like, oh, the Clippers are back on top and everything, which realistically, if we look historically, like, the Lakers got them beat by
I'm about to say back on top. I don't think they've ever been on top.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, it's just people what they're going to say. Yeah. But
before we sign off, I have a question. Do you think if Clippers win or Celtics, do you think either of those teams winning would reset the NBA? Like, how Toronto reset the NBA when Kawhi won at Toronto? It reset the NBA because Toronto wasn't a super team. And all these other teams that were like front loaded and taking these huge salary cap hits from guys, it kind of reset the NBA. Do you think Celtics or Clippers winning would reset?
I think the Clippers definitely. And I got a rebuttal for the Celtics too. Not a rebuttal, but another topic. I think the Clippers definitely, because they've been struggling for so long. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've had, like, with Doc Rivers, they went to the playoffs and everything and just lose in the conference finals and all the conference finals. I think that goes more for the Clippers than the Celtics, I want to say. Because Celtics, I mean, that's a huge organization, named, well known and everything like that. They have history there. With the Clippers, they don't really have that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I would say they are a bigger market team, but they just haven't had the success, I feel like, in the past few years.
Right. The dynasty's not there.
Yeah. I will say this, though. If the Celtics get to the finals and they lose, somebody's leaving that team. I don't know if it's Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I feel like that. Do you remember about 2 or 3 years ago, they were talking about trading but one of them or whatever because their play styles was so similar. I
Right.
really feel like if they don't win it this year, one of those two got to go. And I think it's going to be Jaylen Brown because that's Jason Tatum's team at the end of the day, in my opinion. I mean, you can't go. It'll be very, very devastating for them to have a great year like this and then just lose it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. But to answer your question, I think if the Clippers do win it, that could reset everything, just to be honest. Now, if Minnesota won it, that'll reset everything, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
would
think
reset
small market
everything.
team,
Like
yeah, small market team winning would ruffle some feathers.
mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. Oh, I got a question for you too. Another one. So, and this is not for NBA, this is for like college basketball. Did you see what happened after the Duke game when Wake
Yeah,
Forest beat them?
yeah, when they stormed the court and Duke got hurt.
I agree with the head coach at Duke. I'm like, dude, they got to stop banning that just for that simple reason and everything. Like, I mean, obviously have your fun, storm the court and everything, but that puts the players at risk, especially the opposing team. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't
Well,
know.
no, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, it's just a hazard risk and everything, man. I mean, hopefully the dude doesn't have too bad of injury. It seems like he just rolled his ankle, but still, it's just like we've seen stuff like that happen before, where people they rush the court and everything. People get trampled, players get trampled and everything. Like, I don't know. I feel like they got to do something a little bit better with that. Because
Yeah, I do know.
that's their star play. I wouldn't say that's their star player, but like I mean, he's projected to go to the draft. He's a top 10 pick next year, you know. So it's like I don't know. I saw that and I kind of felt some type of way. I'm like, I kind of do agree with him on that, but that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I know storming the court's actually like it's not. It is banned. Like you're not supposed to storm because I know like in the SEC specifically, if the first time it happens, you get the team gets fined 100,000 for the first offense, 250,000 for the second offense, 500,000 for the third offense. So like there are penalties, and they're not supposed to storm the court. But whenever if 20,000 people are trying to storm the court, there's not enough security to stop it. Is the problem?
Yeah, you just gotta let that shit happen.
Yeah, yeah. At that point, you're just you try not to, but we all know when it's a small team and they're gonna upset a big name, even in football or basketball, the courts or field is probably gonna get stormed. It's the same in football. They're technically banned, but they can't actually do anything if the entire student body leaves the student section. But yeah, it is unfortunate. But hopefully he'll make a quick recovery. I might send the University of Duke some Final Form subs, get them some recovery stuff, some amino acids, get the muscles rebuilt. But I believe that is our time. I didn't actually start our timer, but I believe that is our time.
Good 34 minutes, my boy.
Yeah. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for watching and listening to the NBA coverage. We'll catch you guys potentially next week. We'll have to talk about that because I'll be out of town, but we'll catch you guys soon. We're out. I'm gonna chase my dreams.